Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention please at this time, we'll call to order the City Council meeting of the City of Temple for August 6, 2018. If you will, please stand with us for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Bow with us, please. Dear God, in Jesus' name, we rejoice and thank you for this day and the beautiful sunshine outside and the warm temperatures. Thank you for this community and the privilege we have to live here. Thank you for the honor and the privilege of being a servant to this community, and I pray you just guide this council and us as we go about this business, and you give us wisdom and knowledge and discernment. We praise for each one that's in attendance tonight. We ask that we all behave ourselves in a way that's pleasing unto you. We pray for our country, our leaders. Pray for those that are dealing with hardship. Pray for those dealing with sickness, that you give them healing. And those that are grieved over loss of loved ones, we pray you give them comfort. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, we will entertain a motion from the council to approve the published agenda of this date's City Council meeting as presented.
I make that motion.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Next, we have time for public comments. During public comments, please, if you would like to speak, please stand and be recognized. And please give your name and your address. And also, please try to limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. Anyone here tonight who would like to offer public comments to the council? All right. Seeing no one, hearing no one, we move forward then to the approval of minutes. First, for the July 9, 2018 regular meeting. Is there a move by the council to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the July 9, 2018 regular meeting. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Then the minutes for July 30, 2018 special call meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. All right. Brings us to new business. Item number 1. Consider approving the use of space at the City of Temple Recreation Center and Senior Center as this community's location for the Healthways Silver Sneakers Fitness Program for senior citizens to be conducted by Temple area resident Lisa Reese in accordance with an agreement between her and the City of Temple. Mr. Bill,
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, as we start discussion on this, when we get to the point of making a motion, and I'll yield to the city attorney as to how he wants to handle it, but I will be asking that in the second line, you strike through the words, the Healthways Silver Sneakers, and just make this as this community's location for a fitness program for senior citizens. I've talked with Lisa Reese, who will be conducting this, and she's fine with that. Would not change the program, but it will simplify the arrangements that we make with her to do this. It would still be basically following the Silver Sneakers pattern, but would not formally be that. It would be our agreement with Lisa Reese. As you see under your heading, we've given you information following up from last Monday night, and I'm going to ask our senior center director to come up if she would. But what we did is went back and talked with Sandra Stillwell and Joe Wilson, our recreation director, on looking at how this could work. Also, conversations with Ms. Reese, who would be operating the program, and that we feel like that we've got a good space in the gym of the room next to the courtroom. The only problem we would have is 2 Fridays a month when the court is in session, and we will be working out arrangements with the senior center, Ms. Stillwell and Mr. Wilson, concerning security of the building, along with Ms. Reese. Basically, what we will do will be a little different than the arrangement that we've had with some of the classes, is that Ms. Reese will be providing this service to our seniors. We will not be compensating her in any way. We will make the space available for her. She, in turn, with the clientele that she would have, would be operating between herself and them in terms of what's covered by insurance or other means, just like she does now. So we feel like that this would be a good way for us to handle it. It would be basically a service that we'd be providing for our seniors. And Ms. Reese does, and she's given me her certificate of liability insurance, which not only meets our requirement of $1 million, but has an aggregate coverage of $5 million. So I asked Ms. Stillwell for comments that she wants to make before we move forward to hear from anybody else, Mr. Mayor.
At this time, because of the shortage of staff, we are unable to offer an exercise class. I think this would be a great opportunity for the seniors who were in our class, also for the seniors who are not in the class, participate in this. I think it's a great idea, and I am all for it, and I think I have support back there for it also.
May I make a motion that we accept this?
We do need to, Mr. McRae, I do need to ask that you change the wording in that motion, since this was a printed motion. Do we need to amend that?
The motion by Mr. Brackman would just be to simply allow the program to go forward at the community location for senior citizens.
Okay.
That's my motion.
That's your motion.
That's my motion.
All right, we
I
have
have
a
some
motion.
questions. Can I ask a question first?
Can we wait till after we get a second?
Yes, we can.
Oh.
Okay.
I'll
All right, we have a motion and a second now.
Yes. So is this temporary or is this until further notice? Because it came out as temporary, now it sounds like it's until further notice.
I'm not sure in terms of identification of temporary. I think we were talking about a program that would start. We hadn't looked at it being permanent or temporary, just a service that would be basically transferred from where it is in Perennial Park over to our senior center rec department.
Huh?
Permanent would be great.
Yes. And do we have, no offense against anybody, do we have heart defibrillators up there? Well, I'm sorry. I'm serious.
Joe, do we not?
Mr. Wilson?
Yes, we do.
Any other discussion, Mr. Walker?
And we had the batteries checked in.
I mean,
How often do they?
When's the last time the batteries were checked? We check them every 6 months.
In the record department. Yes, sir.
If we might do it.
Sure. Ms. Reese, would you like to offer comment before the council votes?
I'm right here.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just excited to continue our program. And I just hope that, you know, other people will come, including all you guys, and join us.
All right, any other discussion?
I would
Mr.
just.
Rothwell?
I had a question for Mr. Osborne. I heard you say service, offering a service, offering a service. The service that we're offering is the building, right? So this is a private company that's, we're kind of contracting with, if you will. So what we're providing is the space.
Technically, that's correct, but if we didn't provide the space, that service couldn't occur. And so it's like some other things we do at the senior center and the rec department. Others carry forth the work, but we provide the facility. Yes, sir.
All right. Any other discussion among the council? All right, we have a motion and a second for this service to be allowed at the gymnasium, recreation center. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, item number 2. Conduct a public hearing on a request for a variance on property located at 71 Villa Rosa Road and 326 Rocking D Road for the purpose of relocating the property line between these two adjacent lots with no change in the zoning classification. The application is by property owner Shelby Agan. Anyone here who would like to speak on this matter, please make yourself known to the council and be recognized, give your name and address. We have Mr. Agan.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
All right, anyone want to comment on this matter? All right, hearing none, seeing none, Mr. Reagan, you want to comment to the council before any business is taken further?
We're just moving the line boundaries. The property that existed was, I bought about 6 acres right there together. The property line that I'm moving was a very small piece of property. So I built the building and kind of just redirected the property lines to make it more feasible, more, usable land.
Council, any questions you want to entertain, Mr. Reagan? All right, at this time, then we'll conclude the public hearing for this matter and go to item number 3, which is approve a request for a variance on property located at 71 Villa Rosa Road and 326 Rocky D Road for the purpose of relocating the property lines between these two adjacent lots with no change in the zoning classification. And again, the application being made by property owner Shelby Agan.
I make a motion we accept.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion from the council? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item number 4, conduct a public hearing on a request for variance on property located at 98 Ringer Street and 440 Center Point Road for the purpose of relocating the property line between these two adjacent lots with no change in the zoning classification. Application by property owners Howard Walton and Linda Walton. Anyone here present tonight who'd like to offer comment on this matter? All right, hearing none, seeing none.
What I had presented was recommended for approval of the planning commission.
Okay. All right, and we will conclude the public hearing on this matter and move to item number 5. Approve a request for variance on property located at 98 Ringer Street and 440 Center Point Road for the purpose of relocating the property line between these two adjacent lots with no change in the zoning classification. Application by property owners Howard Walton and Linda Walton.
I make a motion, we accept.
Before we go further, on the record, reflect that councilperson Howard Walden will not be able to vote.
Yes, sir. All right, we have a motion by Mr. Brighton.
I second.
Have a second. Any discussion? Yes, sir.
At this point, Mr. Mayor, I would like to recuse myself from any discussion or any voting on this item, and I would like that reflected in the minutes if we could direct the clerk to do so.
Okay, Kristen. All right, thank you. All right, any other discussion? All in favor of the motion and second, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign? Motion carries. All right, brings us to item number 6. Conduct a public hearing on Part A request for the subdividing of the 10.23 acre tract of property at 407 West Highway 78, with one tract to be 1.02 acres and with the second tract to be 9.21 acres. And Part B, a request for the rezoning of this 1.02 acre tract from R1, Single Family Detached Residential District, to CG, General Commercial District, at 407 West Highway 78. Application by property owners Bob Harris and Leanne Harris. Anyone present who would like to make public comment during this public hearing regarding this matter? All right, seeing no one, hearing no one. Mr. or Ms. Harris, would y'all like to comment further before council addresses the matter? Sure.
Good evening, council. This afternoon, or actually earlier today, our proposed builder that came up and I believe spoke with Mr. Osborne regarding the rezoning of that property for 1.2 acres for commercial. And he had mentioned to him as far as the sewer tap fees and the water fees, which just about floored me. I think I had a coronary after I heard that. But in any event, I recovered from that. And he also brought up the fact, and again, we talked about this at the zoning committee meeting. Somebody had brought up, this gentleman over here, the fact that Lakeview Drive is in fact considered residential. And I brought up the point, it's literally 200 feet, and it's not like a truck would be going through, a complete residential housing development. I mean, the house is right across the street. That's the only house that would be passing. And as we mentioned at the zoning committee meeting, my wife and I are downsizing, so the number of trucks that we would have would probably not even equate to a truck a month, maybe 2 per month, and so we're just downsizing. So just wanted to bring that point up.
Does council have any questions for Mr. Harris? All right, we'll conclude the public hearing on this matter and move to number 7. Approve the subdividing of the 10.23 acre tract of property at 407 West Highway 78, which is zoned R1, Single Family Detached Residential District, with the result of one tract now being 1.02 acres and with the second tract being 9.21 acres. Application by property owners Bob Harris and Leanne Harris.
Make a motion, we accept this.
I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I'll just offer a comment. Heavy trucks are nothing new on that road. When Andy Reed was being built and the current subdivision West Lake over there, those concrete trucks dump work trucks all up and down the road, so I can't see an impact.
Any other discussion? All right, all in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. All right. Item number 8, approve the rezoning from R1, Single Family Detached Residential District, to CG, General Commercial District of the 1.02 acre tract located at 407 West Highway 78. Application by property owners Bob Harris and Leanne Harris. Mr. Wright.
Make a motion, we accept.
I second.
All right, we have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Item number 9, consider authorizing the city recreation director to advertise for sealed bids for construction of new press box in the city park.
I'm going to ask Mr. Wilson to come up and to return, giving you a memo. Basically, as you know, we've had discussion concerning the press box and where the money might come from, priority. And so I tried to review where we've been on this, and basically simply to point out that we do have some funds that we can make available to this depending on what you decide to do. And that's something we'll still have to work on. If there's a willingness to see how we can move forward with the funding on this, then certainly one of the things we've got to do is to see what kind of bids we get on the project. So I would ask Mr. Wilson any comments that he wishes to make, and both of us will be open to questions.
Ms. Dillons.
Joe, what is the bottom part of that going to be for? Why 2-story? So why would we not use the concession stand that's already over there as the first level and just build on top of it with, say, some of the plumbing and materials and all that stuff?
The storage rooms over there,
We have that much equipment though that we need extra storage for the soccer field.
The soccer fields take up majority of the space in the concession stand. That's just that's what I proposed was just a proposal. There's nothing in concrete. So he asked me to come up with some specs of what I thought we needed. I thought that's what we needed, but we definitely can make it smaller or don't have any storage. It's just if you look at the press boxes in the surrounding counties, the majority of them are 2 levels and you have a storage underneath.
But is this just going to be used for soccer? Or are we going to put our football over there? Or are we
It'll
going
be
to?
soccer and football. Because right now, we'll be using it for the fall for soccer only. But football is the intent, to join that as well.
So we're going to move our football from the high school over there?
Yes, that's the goal.
Yes, sir.
Joe, the storage building that was built under the power lines over there, is it full?
It's loaded. It's not loaded.
Yes, sir.
So this is, what we're seeking here is just to take a look at the cost, is that? We're not approving the project. This is just to get the specs together and,
Well, we got the specs. What you would be doing is we would advertise for sealed bids for construction. Now, you may reject the bids for whatever reason, but unless you have some feeling that you want to move forward, then the idea of having companies go to the trouble of preparing a sealed bid and submit it to you. Probably that's what we want to do.
right, thank you.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
I just want to point out that the storage building's not going to need plumbing or anything. Like you just mentioned, the plumbing in the concession stand. It's
Right, but
just-
we still have to have flooring, we still have to run electricity, we've already got
Sure.
all that over there in the concession. I'm just trying to figure out a way to save some money, or to see if we can use what
Yeah.
we got to build upon.
I don't know if Joe can tell you better than me, I don't know if the concession stand would be, how close is this going to be? Is that a suitable location?
For storage?
No, for the
For the
box.
Yeah, I mean, the press boxes sit on the opposite side of the bleachers. So where the bleachers are now, the opposite
So-
side, so it'll be in the middle.
What Taryn's saying though, to what she suggested, build it on top of the concession stand. Is that a suitable location?
Oh, to build the press box on top?
Yeah.
No, I mean, you wouldn't be able to, that's,
See the fields clearly or not?
yes, sir.
Joe, is a 10 by 10 big enough?
Yes.
I mean, that's a relatively small area,
No, I mean, so
especially
for
for
us, what we need is, that's plenty of because, I mean, if you think about, I don't know how many been to Carroll County Rec Department, but it's the same build and model as they have.
Oh, I wasn't talking about the press box, I was talking about storage, if that was.
Oh, that's just the
Adequate
bottom,
storage.
the bottom of the building. Well, I mean, it would have to be the same, you know,
I understand.
have to,
I'm still saying it's 10 by 10.
yes.
Hold soccer goals, is that what you're
It'll hold
saying?
the smaller soccer goals, it'll hold the football, you know, all the stencils, the goal markers, everything that we need for those fields.
Yes, sir.
So just going on, building on what Richard's saying, I mean, next year, you're gonna be coming, saying, we need to build a storage building. So can we knock it out, maybe roll this in and making it bigger than the 10 by 10, and then putting your box on top of that? So that way, because I just,
Like I said,
I imagine it'd be cheaper to build one building once instead of two buildings twice.
Just what I brought to you is, you know, it's not, like I said, it's not concrete. We can go either way with it. I really thought that we were gonna go to maybe Howard rate to see if the specs were, you know, up to what we need to get rolling. So, 10 by 10 is the standard from what I'm seeing around for the different restaurants.
And you think we can do this, I mean, I know you have this roundabout figures, between 35 and 45,000, that's what you're thinking this would cost.
I mean, that's just from talking to surrounding parts.
I'll offer a motion to move forward and put the bids out.
I have a motion for permission to seek out bids.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Where is this going to be? May I, I'm sorry.
Well, you know, the drawings I handed out. This
All right,
is,
let me ask you this way. The new fenced-in area,
yes,
is it going to be on that field?
yes.
Or facing it from the road, you'd be on the,
It'll sit between both of the fields. So you'll be able to access, you'll be able to see,
so soccer is upper field, football is the lower field?
yes, if you're coming from the
So it's
park,
in between, so it'll be reversible, so football can use it.
we'll be able to see both views.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other discussion? All right, we have a motion and a second to go forward. All in favor, let me know by saying aye. Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, sir. All right, item number, yes,
Just wanted to
sir.
ask Joe a question real quick. I got somebody asking me about football helmets. You got any football helmets coming this
Yeah,
year?
football numbers coming, and shoulder pads.
Thank you, that's it. Appreciate you.
All right. Okay, item number 10. Adopt a resolution providing for the selection of the low bidder, AV Construction and Development LLC, to build and equip the addition to the city's senior center in order to provide additional storage, refrigerator, and freezer space for the senior center's kitchen with certain conditions as noted in said resolution. Mr. Osborne.
I put this in resolution because I thought it was important for us to be providing some detailed information information be public in terms of what we were talking about doing and why. Mr. Mayor, you want to read the resolution? You want me to read it?
I'll be glad to if you want to.
Yes, sir.
All right. Resolution, whereas the City of Temple Senior Center serves a valuable function in this community, including enabling our senior citizens to enjoy and benefit from a midday meal Monday through Friday, either by eating in the senior center dining room or by having the meal delivered to those seniors who are physically unable to travel from their homes to this city facility on Rome Street. And whereas the increase in the number of participants in the luncheon program and the recent expansion of this program to 5 days per week by adding Fridays to the schedule underscores the need to enlarge our facilities for storage space and for more freezer and refrigerator space for the kitchen. And whereas, in addition to the mayor and city council being supportive of a construction project to expand our senior center kitchen facilities, District County Commissioner Tommy Lee has given his support and agreed it would be appropriate to pay for this project with part of the 2015 SPLOST funds provided to the City of Temple by the Carroll County Board of Commissioners. And whereas several months ago, the City Council selected the firm of Allen Bell Architect Incorporated of Carrollton to analyze the senior center's current storage, freezer, and refrigerator facilities and the need for additional capacity to handle the increase in the number of meals being prepared each week, and to implement this expansion in a way which facilitated the overall food preparation process. And whereas the firm of Allen Bell Architect is very familiar with the City of Temple Senior Center structure since Allen Bell designed the original building. And whereas following the firm's analysis of the Temple Senior Center's needs in our current facilities, Allen Bell Architects recommended that an addition be constructed to the building on the Rome Street side of the building with a doorway between the existing kitchen and this addition. And whereas after reviewing the construction plans prepared by this architectural firm, the City Council decided to solicit bids. And whereas two construction companies submitted sealed bids before the 4 p.m. deadline on Monday, July 30. And whereas the low bid was submitted by AB Construction and Development LLC in the amount of $113,853, plus additional charges per cubic yard if rock and/or unacceptable soil must be removed, while the other bid was submitted by J.H. Benefield and Sons in the amount of $172,800 and included a higher per cubic yard additional cost if rock and/or unacceptable soil must be removed. And whereas with the completion of the renovation and equipping of the former City Hall building in Temple's downtown area in order for that facility to serve this community as a branch library, the City of Temple has a balance of $178,615.43 in the SPLOST funds originally provided by the City of Temple by the Carroll County Board of Commissioners through the initiative of Commissioner Lee. And whereas we believe this expansion of our kitchen facilities in the City of Temple Senior Center is necessary to enable us not only to effectively to serve the current needs of our community, but also to enable us with equal effectiveness to serve the additional senior citizens we expect to start participating in our senior center activities in the months and years ahead. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the City of Temple that AB Construction and Development LLC be selected to build the addition to the senior center in accordance with specifications set forth in the bid package prepared for the City of Temple by the firm of Allen Bell Architect Incorporated, and for the cost not to exceed $113,853, excluding any additional expense for rock and/or unacceptable soil removal. Be it further resolved by the Mayor and Council of the City of Temple that if said additional expense is incurred, the bid document unit prices shall be applicable, being $40 per cubic yard for general rock removal, $35 per cubic yard for trench rock removal, and $100 per cubic yard removal of unacceptable soil. Be it further resolved by the Mayor and Council of the City of Temple that prior to the agreement between the City of Temple and AB Construction and Development LLC is prepared by the City Attorney's Office for the Mayor's signature, there be a meeting between a representative of said firm and the Temple Mayor and City Administrator to determine whether any changes from the bid specifications could be made that would reduce the overall cost of said construction project without changing its purpose and storage capabilities. Of course, pending your approval.
I make a motion that we move forward with that coming out of the 2015 leftover library squash.
I second it.
All right, we have a move and second. Any discussion? Yes,
I
sir.
have a question. I think I know the answer to it, but I want to know. It said not to exceed 113,000. If we were, for whatever reason, to have an overrun, we just come back and amend this resolution.
Goes to the next item,
This,
next item on the agenda.
oh,
Yes, sir, Mr. Paul.
So you'd be authorizing it. You'd be authorizing it for 118.
so we got 113, we just put 5,000. But even with that, it goes back to the same question. If we were to hit something we didn't anticipate, are we binding ourselves not to do it?
There's a good question. There's a contract amendment that is allowed in public construction contracts where
Right.
there would be a change order. If the change order is significant to any degree, that would be something Mr. Osborne would review, say over a couple $1,000. You would amend the contract to approve the change order. If it's a small change order, you would not. But let's suppose it went from, pick a number, 118 to 140, you're gonna have to come back and do an amendment during the construction phase and approve the modification.
This resolution wouldn't restrict us to be
You know,
able to do
I mean, again, you probably would never do this, but you could even go to the point of doubling it if you had to do that for some reason. But normally I've seen projects like that, as you probably are aware, and some of the rest of them may have seen, have cost overruns. If they do, you deal with them as you go through the contract.
And that was the basis for this question, was making sure that this, by doing it by resolution, that was absolutely good.
All right, any other discussion? Mr. Walton?
You know, we paid them to write their own RFP. If they do the work, is there any chance they'll give us credit to do that? That's it.
Well, that'll be part of the discussion we'll have to see if we can get some reduction, as well as I talked with the representative of the company today. I just want to be sure this building is 544 square feet. As we look at the layout, it may be, I'm not saying it would, but there might be some possibility of a slight reduction in the square footage without interfering with the operation. And that would have the effect of being able to reduce the cost. But I can't tell you that at this time.
I'd like to see them give us credit. There's some credit for what we already paid them, Mr. Wright, you know, they're not good work.
The other thing, the top line on the second page, I didn't catch one typo. Obviously, the SPOS funds originally provided to the city of Temple, and we'll make that change before the mayor.
Any other discussion? All right, we have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. All right, brings us to item number 11. From the $325,000 in 2015 SPOS funds provided by the City of Temple, to the City of Temple by the Carroll County Board of Ed Commissioners, authorize the expenditure of up to $118,000 for construction of an addition to the city's senior center to provide more storage space, including refrigeration and freezer space for the center's kitchen, and authorize the mayor to sign a contract with AB Construction and Development LLC for the construction and equipping of this addition, including possible changes from the bid specifications to reduce the overall cost of said building addition without changing its purpose and storage capabilities. Mr. Osborne.
I make a motion, we accept this.
I have a question.
And we've already approved it with a resolution.
All right, we'll wait for the second.
I'll second that.
All right, second by Ms. Bivens. All right, question.
So we just did a resolution of 113,000, so why didn't we just say for 5,000 more at the cap until we came to it? Why put 118,000 back in there? We just resoluted 113,000.
Well, in the resolution, it's 113,000 plus if you have additional costs. By putting the 118,000, you may want to change it to 116. So if we do have, what Mr. McRae was talking about, a reasonable amount of rock removal, that we don't have to come back to you to ask you to appropriate the approval of more funds.
But wouldn't that have been the same thing if we just said 5,000 more? We just did a resolution, so I'm saying that ties us to 113. I get that, but wouldn't it just say if we just done a 5,000 thing more?
Yes, ma'am, I just didn't.
You see what I'm trying to say? I'm just trying to understand, making sure this works. All right.
All right, any other discussion? All right, we have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. All right, moving on to item number 12. Continue the discussion from Monday, July 30, City Council committee meetings concerning the draft ordinance presented by City Attorney Mike McRae entitled "An Ordinance Revising Water and Sewer Service and for Other Purposes for the City of Temple, Georgia." Mr. McRae.
Mayor, members of the council, you have the proposed ordinance in your book for tonight's meeting. And Mr. Osborne did a good job in the synopsis of about a 7-page ordinance. It's got basically 8 sections where you'd ask, in addition to your rate structure, to do some other amendments, which included the definition of senior discounts and what would happen with water discontinuance, utility service, other matters contained in the ordinance. The committee reviewed it temporarily at the work session last week. It's before you for consideration if you wish to adopt it. Mention one thing to you that is a change, and that is you had not established an outside water and sewer cap fee rate. You might remember that is in there in a schedule that sets that as cost plus 100%. I also added some matters I thought that were very good that are in bold black on page 4 of the ordinance, and that deals with certain costs that might occur, like Mr. Osborne was saying, rock clauses, other things that might happen. So the city doesn't lose any money with regard to the work or construction of those taps. So it's before you all answer the question.
So this was discussed in committee and we were given an opportunity to kind of have their input in this.
We discussed it. I had not read this ordinance until in our committee book.
Yes, sir.
I've got several questions. We all look at that,
Ms. Bratton.
The first read would be tonight, correct?
No such thing as other reads.
That's it, right?
So I'm clarifying that.
And I don't have to read the whole thing, excuse me. Thankfully.
So, with this being brought to everyone's attention, would it be appropriate to wait a month, vote on this, just to give us a little time?
That's your decision. Let me say this. Fine, you do what you want to, if you want to table it until next month. I'd say this, because Howard had indicated he had some questions. If you have any of those, you know, send them to him. And you can go through Bill, hopefully save lawyer fees, if maybe he can answer some of those.
Right.
If you don't like some of the wording, have questions about the wording of the ordinance, send me a note. Let me send it back around to everybody so that I can answer any questions any of you may have. Trying to help you out.
I mean, it looks like it's encompassing everything that we've talked about, but since we are doing ordinances differently, it might be nice just to let this one kind of be there for people to get input in for that period of time.
I have one question, maybe you can answer tonight. It's kind of bugging me on that definition here. It's right here on page 4 of the ordinance at the very bottom, where it says, bullet point, contractors install water meters and power lines must meet city specs and pay 50% of the tap fee if it's increase in the school impact above that? And if so, see, the water taps and the sewer tap fees that we're charging now, probably 99% of them was installed by the contract. Does that mean that we're only going to charge $750 for a water tap and $2,000 for a sewer tap?
No, and what if the question has been raised, Howard, I think I need to clarify. It may come up as a question later on in the schedule. What that's supposed to mean is somebody comes in and starts a tap, like what we had happen in some of these subdivisions. They come there and start working and then they just kind of abandon it. If they started paying this and try to get some of that back, the administrative fee allows you to keep their money rather than having to give some of it back. But that, I agree with you, that's not clear. The wording of that bullet points, I need to make that clear.
And that was kind of my point, give us a little more time to kind of adjust.
Well, and I'll say this about any ordinance, if somebody's got a question about it, that bothers me, and then I don't want there to be any questions later on, 5, 10 years from now, when somebody's looking at it. So if that's a good question Howard brought up. Y'all got other questions? Look at it, look at the wording, because we want it to be as clear as possible so that we do not have interpretation problems in the future.
I'm also concerned about page 5, on the inflationary increase of 1.5%. See, that would be on top of what the county is going increases. So does that mean we have 2 water increases at the beginning of every year? That don't sound right.
Now, that's up to you, but I don't know that you know. Are you certain the county increase is going to be 1.5% per annum?
And it's going to be more than that next year. Their next budget, they increased it 5% that's for 2019. For 2020, it's supposed to go up, what, another 18%. And the budget is going up every year, Carroll County Water Authority.
And
So, anyway, I don't know, I just can't get my head wrapped around that, another 1.5% on top of 18% that Carroll County Water Authority is already going to add.
whatever the increases may be that you can't control. The question is, rather than coming back and going through what you had to go through, this large increase, and would be to create an inflation effect. Not only deals with your rate, that's one part of it, but you got rates, you got construction costs, you got employment costs, you got all the other system costs in addition to just that. And the 1.5% is what I've seen in other places. So that there's 2 points. Number one is, of course, you don't have to do that. You vote on it. Number two, the 1.5% is just a figure. If you want to make it 1, if you want to make it a half, if you want to make it tied to the consumer price index, you could do that. I've seen some of those. That if the consumer price index goes up, you have a fee increase. My problem with that is that's running right now like 2.7 to 3.1%. Well, if you get pick a number, 8% increase from Carroll County, then you want to tack on another 3% that automatically goes in by CPI increase, so consumer price index increase.
But we could, if Carroll County was raising this 18.5%, we could just be doing the 17% or something like that.
Anyway, that was my concern. I just don't want one increase on top of another, and things like that.
Mr. Ross.
The one thing that needs to be pointed out, though, Mr. Walden, is that increase that you're getting from the Carroll County Water Authority is increase us to pay. And unless we do some type of increase on the customers, then we have to absorb all of that.
No, I understand.
Okay. Is it appropriate for me to just make a motion that we table these to the next council meeting? There's 2 votes, right?
Well, let's talk about it in the committee next time.
Just bring it to the committee meeting and have it ready to go and make sure that we've got the updated any of our questions sent to you.
Yes.
And then have it updated to the committee meeting, and then that way, if there's if there's discussion that the public might want to, in our committee meetings, where we invite them to come and give their input anyway, so.
And if you want to give those to Mr. Osborne, so if there's 3 or 5 or whatever they are, just put them all together, then I can answer them all at one time. And do it before your committee meeting, so everybody can look at it before you have a committee meeting and before you consider it, whether that be in September, whenever.
So that would be,
Mr. Osborne.
I would suggest that your motion then, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, would be to table this to your regular monthly meeting in September, because later in this meeting, you will set the actual date for the meeting.
okay, all right. I'd like to make that and then have a chance to review it in the committee.
All right.
Because that would be item number 12 and item number 13, correct, Mr. Gray?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that's for both of those. I make that motion to table.
Motion to table item 12 and 13 to the regular meeting of September. Have a second by Mr. Walden. Any discussion? All in favor, let it know by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. All right, bring us to number 14. Adopt an ordinance to amend the general operating budget for the city of Temple for the 2018 fiscal year. Cynthia Geyer, will you come and share?
Okay.
On this item, you have the ordinance and the attachment of Exhibit A, which includes all the major amendments that were presented at the committee meeting. So unless someone has a question, I don't have any further information.
Any questions from Ms. Geyer? Okay, at this time also, we would allow for anyone from the public who would like to make a comment regarding to this item. You have this opportunity. Just be recognized, give your name, and keep your comments under to up to 3 minutes.
Can I
Anyone?
ask a question?
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Aren't y'all supposed to post these somewhere? I don't know where I'm to look for them. These ordinances, 3 days, or do y'all just have to have them for 3 days? Before you vote on them?
Is the question addressed to the fact that the ordinance itself, is that the question?
Yeah, aren't they posted on the website for 3 days, or do y'all just have to have them for 3 days?
The discussion when we changed that, and went from 2 readings, was to actually have them on the website, so that folks could see them the week before the meeting. Is that not occurring?
No.
We need to do that.
I make a motion if they haven't been posted according to specification of the table until that has been done.
All right.
I'll second that.
Now, is that all of these ordinances where none of them have been?
That would be
None.
all three.
All right, so that's 14, 15, and 16.
Yes,
My motion to table would include item 14, 15, and 16.
I second that motion.
All right, we have a move and second to table items 14, 15, and 16
Until they're appropriately.
until they're appropriately provided online for review. Any discussion? Yes, sir.
We've been waiting until the September meeting to vote on the resolution.
I don't think so.
We have to assume that.
We'll get good in September.
All right, any other discussion?
That is fine, unless,
Sorry to ask, I always wondering about money, when you start talking about budget. That's
So-
one, look at the money.
Mr. Rockland?
So how long does it need to be? 3 days, 7 days?
3 days, it says, and when we adopted that, there were 72 hours. And we just assumed, you might remember, Todd, it would kind of be everywhere. So that especially on the website, because you asked, not you, Ms. Garber, but you asked that question, I remember that night, and said, look, you're gonna be doing this, we're gonna be out there where we can see it. So we need it out there, so that's everybody's intention.
May I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Kristen, is there a reason we're not posting these? Is it just, are we just in transition? Is there just?
I think this time it just kind of fell through the cracks. I know we posted some of the previous ordinances, but I think, I don't know.
Okay.
I'll make sure they get posted tomorrow.
No problem.
Any other discussion? Mr. Atkins?
I was just wondering, could y'all also post these on the city Facebook page also? With the website and Facebook page, if you get double coverage of the ordinances, so a lot of people don't automatically go to the city website, they go to the Facebook page. But on both, it would be great to have.
All right, any other discussion from the council? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries to table these to September regular meeting. All right, item number 17. Approve the transfer of $622,550 from the city's water fund account to the city's debt service account in accordance with city council action on July 6, 2017, to use said funds for debt reduction. Ms. Geiger, will you comment on that?
Yes, sir. Mr. Osborne prepared a memo and some attachments from, that are the minutes from the prior meetings. December 14, 2016, the approval was made to move the SPOS 2015 money to water for the purpose of debt payment. That transfer was done in July of 2017, and you also have minutes from that council meeting. Those funds are in your water fund, and kind of they inflate the balance of your water fund, and the purpose is for debt service. So we need to go ahead and move, I recommend you move that money from the water fund to the debt service.
Yes, sir.
All right, will this go into a fund that will be paid interest?
The debt service account is not an interest bearing, no.
How soon will we actually spend that money?
When and if there is a lump sum payment on the debt service, this is preparing you for that opportunity.
So is that in the next 30 days?
I think that discussion came out at the last council meeting, and it's something that I know will be probably discussed further at the next committee.
I mean, my deal here is on $622,000, even 30 days at 0.5% would be big money for me and for me. So I think when we're moving this, that we should at least be putting it somewhere so that we're getting interest and not just letting a bank enjoy the benefits of $625,000 without giving us anything. So is it possible, I mean, do we need to do anything for that to be moved into a CD, or what kind of action do we need to do? Because even if you have to pay the penalty, if you do a year, and you have to pay a penalty, you'd still be making more money than letting it sit there idle.
Well, the action for this evening would be to just get it out of the water fund and then to the appropriate fund. There have been many money market accounts that are paying a very good return, and then there's no penalty on cash in reserve. So we could definitely look at that.
So, but I'm just saying, when you transfer, can we give permission to do the whole process? Not just, okay, we're going to give you permission, 30 days later, we're going to come back and move it. I'm just saying, is there a way for us to give you permission to move it into an interest-bearing account?
Are you going to get who the bank is and who's going to get the CD and how much they're going to pay us? Or we got to go out, we need to go out for bids.
Well, we just did one.
Yes, and we got better rates than we did 3 months ago when we did the others.
Right.
So we may get better rates this time.
So do we bid out our interest rates, or do we seek interest rates?
We bid out our interest rates. We're actually asking banks for best return. But again, those were for CDs, and whether we could look at both opportunities. Money market, there's no penalty, And the discussion, y'all are in the middle of a discussion on how to, about your debt service payment and what you're going to be looking at for the future.
So if we do a money market account, we would have to bid it out. We could not open a money market account with our current bank.
You could do that, but go back to your statement. With this kind of money, I would advise you not to do that. I would advise you to do as Ms. Geyer says, I would bid it.
Yes.
And so I think the action that would be to make a motion to move the money and earmark it for debt service and provide the authority to Ms. Geyer and the city administrator to seek bids for that money in a money market fund, so as soon as you need it for debt reduction, you take it out without penalty. That should be your motion.
That's my motion.
And I second the motion.
All right. Are we straight on the motion? Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Mr. Wall?
Okay, we're gonna wait to move the money then.
Now, we're moving the money.
Wait, move it now.
Moving the money to the debt reduction fund, subject to, or we're authorizing Ms. Geyer and Mr. Osborne to investigate opportunities to put it in some kind of interest earning account.
There's no harm in moving the money, it's not getting interest in what it is.
That's correct.
Ms. Bivens?
And I asked that if we're gonna do that, we let them do the whole debt service account, not just the $622,000, the whole debt service account amount. Because we earmarked $250,000 to go to that from this 2015 squash. So you're looking at nearly $1 million.
Right.
So I say, let's let her bid it out at that, all of it.
And that's $872,000, that's what we had talked about before, we could get, draw like $1,000 interest per month on it. Or $12,000 a year.
Yes, sir.
There has previously been action to earmark already $250,000.
Yes, I'm well.
The CD.
We'll be bidding on that, or we'll be bidding. We'll be voting on that with the 2015 SPOS budget.
And that was, the 622 was already earmarked there.
Okay.
All right, any other discussion? All right, all in favor, let it know by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion is approved. All right, number 18. Rescind the City Council's July 9, 2018 action for the purchase of two 2018 Ford Explorers from Allen Vigil Ford for $28,819 each, because all the 2018 model vehicles have been sold, and simultaneously approve the purchase of two 2019 Ford Explorers from Allen Vigil Ford for $28,270 each, with the overall cost of the vehicles, camera system, and upfitter police package still not to exceed $85,000. Ms. Gary, you want to comment further on that?
No further comment.
Entertain a motion.
I will motion to rescind the city council July 9 action and then approve the purchase of the two 2019 Ford Explorers from Allen Vigil Ford.
I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Yes,
I
sir.
just want to point out that the 2019s are actually cheaper than the 18s, so it worked out.
Any other discussion? All right, all in favor of the motion and second, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Item number 19, change the time of the regular monthly meeting of the City Council from 6:30 p.m. Monday, September 3rd, 2018, to 6:30 p.m. Tuesday, September 4, 2018, due to the Labor Day holiday. I've entertained that motion. Ms. Bivens.
I thought, and I may be wrong, but I thought we discussed this before, the charter says we go to the following Monday. Can we override the charter?
I think the charter states that the organizational meeting of the new administration has to occur either the first Monday or the second Monday if the first Monday happens to be on a holiday. So other months apparently are not affected by
Okay.
That January. It's just a January thing.
Interpretation there, Mayor.
Sir?
I said, that's good legal interpretation.
Well,
Is-
I watch Law and Order when I can. Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we change it from the third to the fourth at 6:30, same time.
Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 20, discussion of the City of Temple's 2018 tax digest and the process and timing for setting the city's tax millage rate for 2018. Mr. Osborne.
The last tab in your book, this basically is just giving you a reminder that we're at that time of year. I did include an article that Ken Denny had written the other day concerning what Villarica was doing. And then the last page of added to your book, late this afternoon, the 2018 village rate requirements. And basically, we're trying to get everything finished this month, both for Carroll County and Haralson County. And as you will remember, if you are planning to do a rollback, we have to have one public hearing. If you are not going to do the rollback, and so we've got to look at what would be identified by the state law as being a tax increase, then we have to issue a press release and we have to have 3 public hearings. We're not looking for decisions tonight, other than it would be helpful to know if as you have thought about this and as you're looking, do we need to plan for possibly dealing with the 3 public hearings? That still doesn't mean that you would actually vote to do a millage increase. But if you think there's any possibility at all that you might consider that, we need to work out our timeline to take that into account. Because we are looking at Carroll County and Haralson County wanting us to meet their deadlines.
As far as I'm concerned, there's no possibility of having 3 public hearings at this point.
Any other comments?
Mr. Mayor, not hearing anybody voice any other feelings, I would say that I'm comfortable with proceeding in terms of doing a schedule that would have us having the 1 public hearing and action that would put us in line with what Carroll County Tax Commission and Haralson County Tax Commission is asking us to do from a time standpoint.
Any individual council person wants to express something different, this would be their time to state otherwise.
I think Mrs. Geyer is working on getting some figures as far as what it would cost us, or how much we would have over and above the current budget if we did the roll back. So hopefully, we would not be at any kind of loss.
We're working on that, we just didn't get it ready for the day.
Okay. All right. Well, that's item 20. Next is executive session. Now, Mr. McCray, do we need to identify specifically what our executive session is about?
Yes, sir. Do you got a need for anything?
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay.
We need to, sorry, personnel.
Do you expect any action to be taken, or are you just seeking a general discussion?
Seeking a general discussion.
I need a motion in second to go into executive session.
All right, I would
Entertain
entertain.
person.
All right.
I make a motion that we go into executive session for personnel matters.
All right.
I second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion and second, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, Mr. McCray.
And for members of the public, there would be no further activities on the published agenda, and there's no action that's going to be taken as a result of the executive session. So the only other action would be adjournment at the end of the executive need to stay.
Go to Ms. Geyer's office. Sure.
Thank you for turning that down. Thanks for turning the temperature down. I was sweating.
I got a full ride back. Yeah, it's 84. Yeah, that's all. At 85.
Right now, I have vision. That's what we.
That's the next project.
And I've enjoyed it, I really have, because it's got a lot of good
Oh, she did. And, now, I know Denver will never be again, so I mean, that's like what I'm looking at, I'm picturing building in 36. It'll never be that way. Store stuff down there. Whatever. I gotta redo the house, gotta redo the interior, as long as you're well, see, that's why that track, we don't need a scanner for that. Man, we can't come and go. We can't make it. That city council can, all they got to do is if you want in, move in, it's just get forward, talk about the house on Bell Street. Well, yeah, I seen the other day, whenever I was coming home from work, that fire truck was up there on Bell Street, right there on the work, that first house, turned on. All the way to suit up. Everybody fired. I didn't either, that's one guy, I don't know what. I went to the manager. Oh, yeah. On purpose. You got a sample. And you had to answer on one but I looked every place you did. One had 3 cars, one had 2 cars, all of them had 2 or 3. McDonald's had a lot of and a lot of oh, yeah, I got a brown back. Yeah, right there. Well, you got all the way behind it, I'm gonna pull right in the parking lot, that's straight back.
We got to keep everything fixed and that. We have an outdoor kitchen area. Table, cover.
They're pretty easy to do with that work.
I mean, they're a chain, I mean, they're not a franchise, they're a chain.
That's where you're working on now?
No, on the other side, one that's long.
Well, there's a few examples. There's not all. No. I don't think so. No, but I think they're gonna look in there. He didn't even tell them that he fixed.
But if you get the breakfast, if you have trees with beer out there,
It is, down to a certain extent, but it's also. They give
have you got a copy of that ordinance?
Right, combination.
Sitting there already. We need to find out from Kristen and
What else? Oh, bottled water.
Every day. The same thing, every day.
That's still there.
They're not supposed to.
No, it's supposed to be.
They're supposed to talk regular drain. Yeah, anything like big rainwater.
We've got the copies.
I'd like to go over it.
Because we need to just do it.
I didn't have
We're down the same, that's
We're
great.
supposed to do that.
I'll be looking at my email.
We should, it's on the 21st. Yeah.
Got it?
March 7th, 2 weeks from tomorrow.
I haven't seen it.
Actually, y'all meet at 5, you got 2 items for the planning commission. 5:30.
Was that
Setback very northwest.
Okay, well, I might drop up by here tomorrow and
Okay.
see, if y'all might have. Appreciate it. Go ahead and run something for the city.
He's usually the one that's closest to the, get sun.
Got the carpet.
What it is.
EPA gives us credit for it because the taxes is soaking up all that water. If you pay it just like Elmwood, people don't know that, but that really helps out with that. Now, what we're supposed to do is go that whole area is.
No, well, yeah.
All that water.
I know you do.
Yeah, I know that. Oh, yeah.
And the geese get down there and everything like that.
You know, was it about
Like a little wetland down there.
Yeah, right down there, right past the lake. That's why I'm around.
You're right. You're right. Is that a,
Huh?
you know, we can't see the second. Yeah.
Because she stopped all what she did. Chris had come from the interstate. She rolled through and stopped there. And she seen him at the last minute.
But that's all.
Gloria?
I wouldn't be surprised if something geese might be.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you're right, dirty.
But you're
You need to walk, you need to walk right down Wall Street early in the morning, about 7 o'clock in the morning.
It kills me that people.
Yeah, I'm going
Like I had to spell the rail right there. The order.
I'm walking down there, come right across Wall Street, go down to that lake.
Andrew Street, Seagull, Twitter, Single. I would stop, use the phone. I usually write a couple. I didn't today, so. I usually stop. Just me, stop 3 or 4 days.
I helped him kindergarten.
It's looking better.
But I told him, I said, you know,
Yes.
almost anything you want, I get.
Yeah.
Don't let them hear it. It's
not right.
It's like that house on Carrollton Street, my dad, he had all that stuff on the road. I looked at him, he had.
Oh, yeah, I know, yeah.
Red.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
And now that he got that sign up, you know, a slow, children, put a place on it, he is happy.
Telephone call.
People are slowing down.
Well, that might be what I think we're on our road. You think, my road right there, people use it as a drag strip.
Well, I know they use that.
Cool down a whole lot.
They went into this country, we went out, did it kind of on their hand, I'm like.
That'd be awesome, well, that's all.
Once you.
I got grandkids now.
You see me, I'm gonna see you.
They got the speed limits, and they got everything.
I didn't know, I remember following my house, so you weren't holding.
Well, that's, that right there, was
Different case.
Up to 2 years left to do an
just
executive
across the
session.
ball field.
It's just kind of a penny. One way forward.
30. I would call it a result.
Oh, yeah.
You don't try to make yourself.
Yeah.
You don't try to insult like that,
And you know, I got that old Crown Vic.
if you insult.
Wow.
Trees like stop signs, I treat them like stop signs, you know, if I stop. Because you're wearing stop sign. Roll.
Not as big as it was. Oh, my God.
Here, I'm just waiting to buy.
I'm sitting on State Street, bigger than.
Can't be back in there.
I like to see
I
them.
don't buy it, so that's worry about.
And, you know, they come up over the track, or come down James Street, with the building there, they can't see it. Same thing, they come over the track. And then I said, oh, yeah, tags.
You don't have to plan, all you gotta pay for one minute.
Sit there,
You can't cut it with a
comes up behind the State Street.
No,
It's up, the stop sign rolls right through.
You got to cut it right there, green,
Yeah, really?
you got to cut it right in between, that's on the way.
We're stuck there, pull out, stop, and I was like,
That lady down
good to
there,
see you sit there.
when you go down Center Point to the four way, they
Yeah.
got her husband's a cop.
Yeah.
Trying to get over here real quick.
But you know, it's pretty cool out there, bro. Like,
Confederate Avenue.
But, Howard stays on top of it. Howard stays on top of it. He stays on top of it.
And then like people up there, going up there, like pretty, that's, dumb enough to be on the phone when it stops at the white. That's how it's done. That's usually, you know, it's hard, you know.
No, he's on back with the baby.
Reebok wants to Verizon.
He wants you to do this.
They clip out of the line. They're really nice and they were $100. We got this from Texas. They're cool. They're awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I was over there.
I'm not having any problems.
So then,
Somebody, I had,
it's bad enough we got the computer.
first met the
Big laptop sitting right here in your face.
That's when, 113.
But it's junction in the wall.
Garage, high storage shed.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Oh, I was just wondering about it.
Yeah, it's good interesting.
Not bad.
The White House has a park in front of the Johnson Street, is it Johnson?
Yeah, that's State Street, that's right to cross over.
Oh, that'll do.
They got all kinds of, just throwing people out.
I walked up to him and introduced myself and said, hey, I can catch your drive.
That place used to be right now.
I know that old people used to have, used to keep it boarded.
And that didn't live there.
That was his, that was Linda's
That was
mom.
Linda's way, right?
Yeah,
That was a gorgeous garden. He had a great garden.
That was Linda Williams, that was Sharon had it.
I was saying it was a great garden.
Yeah, that was Sharon.
Same thing over there at Willock property, that old guy had that gorgeous garden out there. And now it's like, I have to give him a, Miss Willock, I went to her, notice of violations.
She's in Jacksonville, isn't she?
She's in Atlantic Beach, Florida.
I'm surprised she ain't sold it.
I think it's a Florida.
I think she's trying, but I think she's just asking too much for it.
She's actually got 2 lots over there.
Yeah.
That's actually,
And where the trailer was, she got the trailer moved.
yeah, finally.
I noticed that in there a while.
Got this Lieutenant Hollywood there, helped me search some citations on the middle road.
So,
I thought Craig was gonna do it. You have to.
you really think that?
So what do you do? Do they get mad at you when you went there?
Ain't nothing there, really.
Hello?
Better looking on it.
I told you. Huh?
That's what we
And then I, it goes up here when that's right.
It goes uphill and back down here, with back up.
It does, it looks a lot better though. I'm sure you can tell the difference.
I think once people have an idea, then they should.
Is Pope's under the police department, Jim?
Huh?
Is Pope's under the police department? No? She can do
It
it.
goes.
Yeah, I know it's codes, but.
It used
So
to
you
be,
see, all.
He's right over there.
Huh?
Supposed to
Right
say
there,
all.
there's my box.
Right there for it.
Didn't you used to be on baseball?
Sometimes,
did.
some places,
For a while.
yep, some places it's under the police department, and other places it's under the community development.
That's right.
That's
right.
I know it's possible, I painted the roof of our restaurant, the same color. And all of that came over, I got 6 citations.
Get free approval, did you?
That's more work for the time.
Did your friend back the same thing, doing the same thing? I don't understand
And I
that.
painted it the same color, I hot blue.
It's a mud thing.
They said, no, what, it was a baby blue color. I said, yeah, because it was like 10 years of sun. You know, they faded it out, so I had to paint that a hot blue. And it's about, I finally got somebody from my hot to come down there and talk to me, so you get, you know. Now they work up now.
Yeah.
But it's so you paint them.
Yeah.
I'm glad we come out on things like that. You got invited to that one, Bill?
No, they're talking about me, so I'll. They're doing my evaluation.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I think that's about it, then there's gonna be nothing else, right?
No, when they get through, we just, come
All
out
right,
and adjourn.
well, I'm off tomorrow, we'll see you Wednesday.
All right, you have a good, off day tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
He's doing a good job. You can tell the difference around here. I told him, I said, y'all need to give me more hours.
We probably gonna need to with some of the extra stuff I keep piling on him.
Well, he's doing a good job. You sure tell the difference.
All right, that'll work. I'll be here.
All right.
Is your battery gone in the clock or is it just quit?
It's,
You just quit.
Oh, the clock,
You just quit.
clock's
I
just
think
quit.
it just, probably battery's dead, I don't know.
No, it's quit.
Is it,
I changed the battery and.
it's just
We need a new
expired?
one. We need a new one.
That's what got twice the latest, and that's how you know what time you come through in your DeLorean to travel through time.
Do what?
Just thinking of the movie Back to the Future.
Yeah, we've been looking for one. We hadn't found one that, they wanted one that, was, an atomic clock that changes, but they wanted one analog. And they didn't want one digital.
Ain't that one?
And they didn't find one yet, it was big enough. I mean, we looked for one that was, you know, filled that category, but they were too small. So, we're still looking.
Sometimes that clock's good, sometimes it's not, because in the spring now, they don't, the time or something's not right, and our clock always bounces up about 2 weeks before the time either goes back or forward.
That's because you got one that was before they changed it.
Is that what it is? I mean, it changes, but it changes either 2
Right.
weeks before or 2 weeks.
Yeah, they started coming out with all those clocks, I've got one too.
I love
Come out with the
it.
clocks, and then all of a sudden, like 2 or 3 years later, you know, they decided to change the dates on when we spring forward, fall back, and all those clocks don't work.
When it's spring forward this time, Howard got up and he got up and fixed his coffee and he sat there, you know, and anyway, he come in and he said, "You gonna sleep all day?" And he thought it was like 8 o'clock or whatever it was, and I wear my watch, I said, "It's 7 o'clock, leave me alone." He said, 7 o'clock. He said, "It ain't no 7 o'clock." He said, "It's 8 o'clock." And I said, "I don't care what that is." But he's bounced up, you know, and so he don't, now he looks at his watch when he gets up. He's up at daybreak every morning. Was them kids, they ready to go to school, Jim?
Oh, yeah, the lady is, the boys are.
Boys ain't never ready.
They don't want to go to school, the boys. The lady can't wait.
I think we should be out of school longer than we are now.
She spent the whole summer learning stuff anyways.
That's
She's
good.
constantly watching science and history videos and stuff.
That's a good thing. How is
She
she?
loves to learn.
12?
She'll be 12 in October. She goes to sixth grade this year.
Oh, thanks.
Well,
They do.
The 468.
That poor air conditioner's struggling in here, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
That air conditioner's struggling in here, isn't it?
I see.
Just gonna say it's all that wasted space.
It got hot in here, all these people got in here. Got warm.
Softball's in there again, Marty.
She just tells me they have a game and Kyle's gonna be picking up the baby. I'll bring her in the morning, 7:30, and Kyle will pick her up.
Yeah, we did that many, many years. Drop them off at Grumman's. Pick them up. In the evening.
And we like that ball. That's the way they told me that year that they done that, got that championship. They was with the same people for 4 years. The girls growing up. Every weekend. Yeah. Every ball practice. I said, they get, be like family, you know. I'm surprised some little kids are, yeah. As long as it is, I can, I'm surprised they don't get.
Barry got a remedy for that. He soaked rags and towels in, something that you would, when it hit your skin, it would cool you off and just be some type of,
They'll do it on board.
well, I don't know if it's a real one. You probably don't know about it there, you know, it was. And we did it when we was playing.
Well, you need that now, so now. I can't remember
But they were in tournaments all day, Saturday, you know, usually the high school teams are just playing in the evening. It's still hot, but it's not boiling hot like it is in the middle of 12 o'clock minute, you know. And what was that stuff? I can't remember.
Now they come in today for lunch and she was soaking wet out there. And I said, in red face, and I said, Annie, I said, you fixed this fall down. And she said, yeah, it's hot out there.
It is.
I said, it was hot at 7:30 this morning.
Yeah, well, it was,
I don't see how they do it.
it was hot yesterday, but it was hotter today.
It's hot. It was hot at 7:30 that day. So y'all don't see, that face is hot down.
There it goes.
Yeah, whatever they have for lunch.
Very good. know how to commit the perfect murder by now.
person when they go through, and I'm guessing now, it could be 9 o'clock when I get home. I'm very sorry. But if you feel like you need to leave, I understand.
We can all have one thing in common.
But I'll call you when I see that I'm gonna be able to get away from here. And,
Yeah, sooner or later.
I'll talk to you
People have to speak at some of our.
in person or by phone. God bless you. Bye.
But it worries me about being on that hill up there, and ain't really nothing around us. I come out, and I said, you know, they need to pick somebody over here to kill us, they probably might find us for 2 or 3 days.
We watch a live TV. Have you ever seen that? Live TV?
I watched it all. Crazy.
What's that?
Forensics, forensics file, I watch it all. Snap.
Watching on Friday night. We take it. Watch it so we fast forward through and call it commercial and stuff. It is.
I can't believe how many kids kill their parents. I mean, it's horrible. Can you imagine killing your grandmother, or watch one today where they killed their grandmother? On,
It's evil out there.
it is, that's just plain evil. I said, poor grandmother, probably loved them and watched them, and that's what they got. Somebody in the paper where that, what's that guy's name, Carroll, they found guilty for living in twins out there.
Oh, did they?
Did you read it? No, he said somebody, did you read it? He said he told the judge, or he told him, somebody come in his house and got the twins and put them out in the car. I said, I think that, even I could have come up with a better one than that. I'm out there burning up. He drank it and smoked pot. Got all that. Got all that. You know what my solution to that? I think they would put those people in the car, at least those kids in the car like that. And I think they would put them in the car and say, they're leaving. All right, awful. I do, that's what I think. The little kid has, they got no way of defending themselves, little babies out in the car seats. Susan Smith grounded her poor little babies in it. I said, I said they would took her, strap her down, put her in a lake, let her drown.
And he's like,
yeah. Set the hair and let her drown again. Nobody wants to be on there. Nobody wants to be on the jury. That one's supposed to be a big one. That hurricane was supposed to be a big one, but they said it did some damage. Supposed to be a mile long. I heard it was supposed to be a big one. Like Hawaii's not one of the places I'd like to be, there's nowhere to go.
It's really no place to evacuate to.
I mean, there's nowhere to go, I mean, it's just an animal shit. It is an interesting place to go to, though. Have you been to Mr. Osborne?
I'm sorry?
Have you been to Hawaii?
Been to where?
Hawaii.
No.
It's interesting. The volcanoes, we got to see a live volcano. And that's something we probably never get to see again. We found a ship, we took a cruise and there was one that was erupting and it was, you could see it coming down and you could see it making land in the water. It was interesting. It's not a place I want to live though. You don't see wildlife over there. You see those mongoose? Is that what they call it? They're everywhere. They're everywhere. They said that they brought them over there because somebody brought a snake. Somebody brought a snake. And of course that snake, and so there was just overwhelmed with snakes. So somebody had the wild idea that they was going to bring in the mongoose because the mongoose could kill the snakes. So now they don't have snake problems, they got a mongoose problem. They're everywhere. But you don't see wildlife over there like you do.
And it's like the idea years ago, we'll bring kudzu into the south and it'll be an erosion control measure.
It controls erosion, don't it?
It is an erosion control measure for you.
It takes over everything. You can't kill that stuff. Honestly, I think you put concrete over top of it, I think you can't put concrete. We've got it and we can't hardly control it. They're supposed to, wasn't it supposed to be something they could feed the cows too? Didn't they think they could feed the cows?
I don't know what they thought they were going to do, but I had, when I was about 11 or 12, uncle in the Navy, and I worked with him 4 or 5 days. We were getting kudzu from a friend of his and planting it on his farmland to try to deal with erosion. Of course, when he got out of the Navy 10 or 12 years later, thing had covered acres.
I was trying to say, could you find his land? And so did you help him plant it?
Yep. Yeah. We dug it up and planted it.
Honest to God, I think that stuff grows 3 foot a night. I know. Honestly, goodness, we can, he can be on this side of the driveway today, and tomorrow be on this, he'll be coming across the driveway. Yes. I believe you can actually see it grow.
I've had
Oh, that's
four
pretty.
flowers, but the first one,
How tall is it?
it's about right here. It's still good, you know, I planted it back last fall, you know, I won it in the
Yeah.
garden club.
Oh, what did you
That's
guys?
the one that I won.
Oh,
And so
that's
I
pretty
think,
good.
yeah, the rain, the first one that bloomed, the rain beat it down last week. And then the next one that bloomed, same
And
thing.
you got it saved up.
I haven't yet, and it's doing pretty good.
Mine's, I didn't have mine saved up, because I guess mine's 10 foot tall. My sister gave me mine. And she
Yeah.
got to see some beauty.
I was wondering when Sandy said that it would bloom, probably late July.
You know, did you put yours in the ground?
Yeah.
But you know, she gave me 2 pieces, I put one in the ground, and one in the pot. I don't know why they put pot, but you know, that's one pot. One in the ground died, and one in the pot just comes up every year. I think about actually put it in the ground this year, after it blooms. I don't know, it should have died.
I'm surprised, because normally I kill plants.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah. I forget to water them, or give them too much sun. I had 2 Japanese maples that I had seedlings that Cliff had taken out of the ground and put in pots. I killed, watered them, put them out in the sun, watered them. Next thing
That
I
sounds
know,
expensive.
he has some trees at his house, and they just all teared up. Next thing you know, I looked down and went, kept dying. I mean, I killed them. I don't know what I did. I fed them too much water or what. But this is the second time that I've tried to, get Japanese raccoons. a little
Did you
bit-
leave it in the pot?
Yeah. I left it in the pot. It's crazy. It's Japanese raccoons.
Do they come up? Does he have to come up?
Yeah, he has a volunteer. Please do, let me know how you did it. If you're able to transplant them from a pot to the ground. Okay, several people give me Japanese maple.
I'm about to find one of the places that they're expensive, they are.
Chris has his next to the house, and it's kind of a protected area, so it doesn't get like all day sun, so maybe it's like that. Maybe it has to be protected,
Oh, that's what it was.
because his has grown a lot.
Yeah, I love the color. Is his purple or is his green?
Purple.
There's two different kinds.
Yeah, his is purple.
Where's the good cut his at?
This is a 34 dollar.
Did you buy his?
I'm sure they already did many years ago, but his is huge. I mean, it's pretty good size. But we'll have every spring, early spring of the year, we'll have come up around. He's trying to
Do they come off the main road? I think they have to.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they probably do.
I don't know if they know that.
3 years.
What, 80?
86. Almost 86. Because our first year there, we lived in another while we was building the house.
Y'all built that?
Well, Uncle Gene, Vernon Gene, he built houses back then. And so he built it and subcontracted, so it worked out. He did a lot of it. So my dad did all the trim work in the house. So he was a commercial carpenter. I worked for him. I worked with him 5 summers. So I knew.
Well, you worked, didn't you?
I did. He said I was the best gopher he ever met. I could pretty much after the fifth summer, I could anticipate what he needed before he ever asked. I enjoyed working. He drove back and forth to Atlanta for me. Worked over there around Shanty Dillon. Over there, they had office parks. And redid new office buildings and stuff from the inside.
How long do you work with him?
I was in college, in high school. I mean, I started out after probably my junior, going into my senior year was my first year. So I worked for him. And then worked all the way through college. It was something, gosh. So I got a little money for the summer or for the next school year. I learned a lot a lot of stuff that a lot of it, probably they don't know as far as carpentry and that kind of stuff.
A lot of them don't know the inches, the yards, and the things you'd be surprised. I worked with a girl at work, and we sewed stuff out the yard, and, she had a 3 years of college in Florida. And anyway, she says, what is a yard? And I said, what? She says, I don't know what a yard is. And she says, I said, you don't know how many, you don't know what a yard is. She says, no. And she didn't know how many feet was in the yard. She didn't know how many inches was in a foot. And I said to her, you got to be kidding me. And they don't teach them pine sports. They don't teach them
What is the purpose of that? I mean, a kid can't, when a kid can't do cursive writing, well, I mean, how do they get that kid? No, they don't. What, and what the purpose is? I mean, I'm serious.
A lot of people do that.
My grandson scribbles. You can't read, now, print, he can print cursive, and he graduates. And I'm sitting there going, Bryce, and he's what? And you don't even know what cursive is.
Stop teaching cursive writing years now.
I said, oh my God, that's the first I've heard it last year. He wrote me a thank you note, and I'm like, you know what this is? You're just one big scribbled out thing, you know. This is hard. I said, what school did you go to? And she said, Florida School in Florida. And I looked at my boss, I said, don't you ever say anything about that anymore. Please, they taught me inches and feet and yards.
A lot of times kids have a hard time telling time. The right man, you know. They don't know what.
It's not like this.
They don't know what half past 5 minutes.
It's, don't you think the common sense is just, they're just pushing this out the door?
Well, I mean, we live in a digital world, to look at that.
But I mean, it's 25. Don't you think that they need to, this is that basic stuff?
I'm surprised we still ain't gone, international on the metric system.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, but they've been saying that for years, but, I'm surprised.
I'll be lost.
Yeah, we will. Because,
I'll be lost.
They're gonna get through, I think the line get away from here.
I understand.
And I will call you, when I'm finally getting away. But
You know, there's lessons.
how much I'm really gonna talk, how much I've got to talk with them, so anyway, sometimes best laid plans, but anyway, hope you are doing good, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.
They want to know how you need to eat for,
so I'll stay, we'll stay in school all day, trying to get her, help her get ready for,
what does she teach?
seventh grade.
She know that. If I was going to teach school, it would be second, third, or fourth. I don't mind her to teach Spanish.
Yeah. It's on Thursdays. I went there about 3, went home, got a shower, and went back to the high school to sell season tickets for football. Then I came on here.
Now, what school does she teach you?
She's teaching politics.
Well, she don't live far, where she live?
She lives, you know, where the Cusa Bridge Road is, on Carroll, off Carrollton, off of 113. You know where Caldwell store is?
Yeah.
Right there, that's the Cusa Bridge. They live. Just across, going past the bridge, they live.
You're not going to be far out from her, then, are you?
Well, probably, according to Jay, 2 for
And she's expecting a little girl.
little girl.
two offer ends, and he take this, I was Grinch West, he take this.
She probably just like that.
Oh,
She
she
wants to be outside.
outside.
You freaking out.
It is. She spends on that fridge door, it's on it. Sorry. She still ain't talking. I said, Candace said, she didn't start talking, I said, she was talking, she was getting ready to talk. Cause she didn't want to hear it on Sunday and on the desk room.
Yeah, that's what they say. Spend 2 years trying to get them to
Talk,
and walk.
rest time, rest of life, shut up.
Like I grew up here, with the flat, then you could shut it up.
Yeah.
Say, wow. We're not talking.
Riley was just like her mom, but she actually talked to her. She's here. She's here. I told her that to Alan, I said, she might look like you, but she acts like her sister. What's Linda doing?
Yeah. We've been traveling back and forth with her sister. She's been going to Alpharetta and helping her sister out. Her sister was going to Kentucky, a friend of hers. Got cancer.
Hello?
She was one of the sick of the guy, Kentucky by herself.
Yeah, who knows what they're doing, but,
That's a pretty drive.
so- but you,
What did they book, 24?
I have no idea what they're doing. Where are you?
I bet they did somewhere better. I think it's up there.
Okay.
Where she was at the, lady's husband. He had 200 acres land.
Well, I'm not guessing as to when they will get through and when I leave here, but, yeah. So, but I'll call you when I get through here just to give you a report, but, we'll just have to do a rain check.
Oh, my God.
I'm fine.
And he sold some wholesale. All of them sold it. He bought a whole bunch of rest of that.
All right. Now, it's, the thing at the park with the law enforcement, is that tomorrow?
Over, and I picked fresh corn,
Okay.
fresh okra, and fresh squash, potatoes.
You know what? I didn't get anything. Please do, because I've been real busy, but I just was thinking, because I had looked at emails late this afternoon and didn't see anything.
It's not like down here, it's dark and it's rich.
Has your need?
He wrote everything on the property and sold it.
Bless you, all right.
He wrote the back of the sell,
Okay.
Does he sell it right there on his land? Sell all
He had, where he house, all the land around his house, he had a red barn on it, about a mile.
Hmm.
Where his house is, that's where it's all.
Yeah. So what kind of
That's
students are these?
Andy
Okay, okay.
Andy said that these for the Oakley's park, the Oakley, they do that for a garden. I said, it sounds good, I don't know who it don't get work.
Well, that was my question to my
Are you doing
Look
okay?
at all the people in the garden.
And we can't even get that.
We can't even,
I'll give you a call. So, but please take care of the precious lady, okay? Okay, bye-bye.
love to have one myself, but I'm getting this. They will just
Chris, we're waiting on Kristen.
One second, it's printing, sorry.
Bless her.
She's a long way.
I want you to put the budget candidates on this night or something, and y'all get this resume. First.
All right. This time we'll entertain a motion to exit executive session and return to normal or regular session.
I make a motion that we come out of executive session and into regular session.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. All right. Closing comments, Ms. Bivens.
I will tell you, the sign dedication went awesome Saturday. If you weren't there, it was awesome. The girls, some of the girls showed up. They all, except for one, actually spoke, and it was very good. I think it was very well done.
Mr. Walden.
Well, they covered the same thing, and we have made some contact with the media, which did not show up for dedication. I think we're going to get some positive publicity out of that, possibly this week and again in September.
Mr. Wallace.
No comment.
Mr. Rothwell.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bragg.
I do. I think a lot's been said about the sign and about all of that, and I think very little has been said about the hard work that Howard Walden did to put that together. He did a phenomenal job, and it spoke well of our community, and a lot of people are commenting on the fact that you're getting that sign back up and getting those young women recognized. And I thought the neatest thing that came out of it was that, you know, where they are, what they are achieving now. You know, I didn't hear them all, but I know there's a doctor out of that group, and there's a teacher that has been teacher of the year, there's a lawyer. So this group of women are representing our city well, and thank you, Howard, for the hard work you put into that.
You're welcome, it was enjoyable.
Mr. McRae. Mr. Osmond. You stole my thunder. But to echo slightly, I want to commend Councilman Walden for the recognition of the fact that this occurred and putting in place and executing a plan to make sure it was appropriately recognized and celebrated. And thank you, Mr. Walden, for doing that.
Sorry.
It's okay. This
You
time.
can buy dinner.
This time. I also commend our schools. Classes begin Wednesday morning at Providence, Temple Elementary, Temple Middle, and Temple High. And being from that world in a former life, I wish them well. Wish them well, and wish our PD and other law enforcement well in making sure everybody behaves around their school buses. All right, if there's no other word, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor, let me know by saying aye. Aye.